Let's bring in our friend David Burrell. David, for those of you who don't know, David hasn't been here in a while because he's busy building a business. And when I beg him to come on, he says, Mark, I'm busy building a business. Unmute again, David. My fault. David is a pollster, lives in the Atlanta area, and works for all manner of different groups, a nonpartisan pollster, and really so rigorous, he might as well be called professor. David, welcome back. Thank you for joining. Rob and Hyam are going to ask you questions when you're done because they've put many a pollster through their paces, and since they're not paying you, they don't have to feel annoyed. Do you tell us what this was, who the client was, what you were up to, and I'll frame it a little bit better. But why don't you get started, and then I'll jump in after I'm able to
As you
find
said,
my
I'm,
notes.
I'm from Atlanta, but I'm out in California right now because there's a
Hmm.
conference. It's called TechCrunch Disrupt, and so a lot of AI conversations going on with all the startups and the venture capital groups, and we thought it was a fun time to do a public opinion poll on AI and kind of see where voters stand on it, what their concerns are, and maybe have a little fun with it too with some interesting
Okay.
questions.
So as
So yeah,
David brings this up, just because he'd be too modest to say, David is one of the most thoughtful people in all of research, including politics polling, that I know, and thinking about AI, both for his own company, where he's doing some incredible cutting edge stuff, but also how AI innovation, how it's being integrated into society, is disrupting things and creating opportunity. And as he said, he's at the Tech Crunch Disrupt conference. So, David, with that, we'd love to thank you for making time and see if you can get a price number on that chandelier behind you because I'd like
no,
that.
this is it's a new
Like
renovation
that.
at the White
Yeah,
House,
like
but
that for my hallway. Anyway, screen is yours. Go ahead and share the slides and walk us through them, and
all right.
then Rob and Jaime will have questions.
So we asked 1,000 likely voters nationwide questions about AI, and I'm going to run through it really quickly so we can get to questions. But first thing we found out was voters use AI a lot. So voters use of general purpose chatbots like ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude. Over 68% of them use these chatbots.
Wow.
Yep, and that's consistent with some other research we've seen too. And they use it very frequently. Look at this. Daily or a few times a week, 7 and 10 of the people who said they used it, right? So of that, subset, say they use it either daily or a few times a week. And this is where it's going to get really interesting. But voters generally think AI will make life better. Now, when we look at the concerns, and so it's this plus 7% when we combine the little better and a lot better and kind of combined together. Ultimately, people are optimistic about what AI is going to do for life in America. But all that being said, and you see this statistic here, and then we get into the next section, and it's going to look a little bit strange because there's a lot of concerns and there's a lot of loud numbers about voters' concerns on AI. They're very concerned about its impact on jobs. So we asked the voters in the survey to pick which one of these options that they thought was more true. They said they believe much more that AI will eliminate more jobs than it creates, than that it will create more jobs. And that's plus 34%. So some pretty loud numbers there. Secondly, voters are very concerned about their personal data. So 87% of voters are at least somewhat concerned about their personal data with AI. And voters are concerned about deepfakes and misleading information. So 88% of voters. So this is across all parties, demographics, and ideology. So voters also want a little bit of action. Again, I'm going to try to move pretty fast here, and then we can get to conversation because we have a little bit of time. So first and foremost, voters do want more federal government action. As you can see here, 65% saying that they're doing too little to regulate AI. And if you pull issues as much as I have, that is stunning to see numbers and gaps this big.
Yeah.
That means that Republicans, Independents, and Democrats alike are all sharing the same sentiment on this issue. I guess they haven't been given their talking points yet. And this is a really big situation right now that I'm sure you all have seen, but one of the we do a lot of public opinion research, and one of the most common things we're surveying now is into communities about the rising energy costs associated with these AI data centers. And this is a big issue. You could almost do a whole show on it. But effectively, companies, when presented two options, whether AI companies should pay higher rates so that the burden doesn't go on the consumer, or if they don't need to because they're bringing new jobs and investment to local communities, you can see it's a pretty stark how much believe that the AI companies need to be bearing the burden of these data. Of the data center energy increases. And again, this is one of the poll questions. It's almost in every single poll we do right now at the state level. And then, this is probably a pretty obvious one, but voters also support limits on kids using AI, and they want action related to that. So I got a couple fun hypothetical ballots here, and then we'll kind of stop it. It's just for fun. But if we were in a man versus machine type of AI war, as we've seen in many movies, who would America want as commander in chief in these hypothetical ballots? And if we have more time, I'd ask y'all to guess. But the first ballot we did was recent presidents, and Donald Trump and Obama tied. Second was presidential hopefuls, Vance, Newsom, Harris, and DeSantis. And Vance won out on that ballot. We should probably do a round two where we take the winners and put them against each other head to head next time we do this, Mark. For a variety of reasons, because what you're really seeing here is that the two Democrats on the screen actually have 55% of the vote there. We got tech billionaires. Elon
Musk, but for the big guy. Yeah.
And then running on experience. And Neo Keanu Reeves just barely edges out Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Always a fan favorite.
Too, obviously. Yes. We'll have, I can't wait to send out the crosstabs on this. It's very interesting. Yes. Who said what? Generation.
That's awesome. That's a good selection. Rob, comments or questions for David?
Okay, question for David.
I'm sorry. David has.
Last slide. Again, we're just having a little bit of fun here, but we said which one of these potential Chat GPT history titles is most funny because it's true. So Joe Biden, can you sign something for me? What's the actual significance of patch time? Again, I wish we could have gotten predictions, but I just want to move fast here. But it was RFK Jr. And this is, you select your top three. How do I politely tell my boss I can't meet at McDonald's for lunch? But we're just having a little fun with the polling. Yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed that, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
All right. That's awesome, David. Thank you. Rob.
Good stuff, David. Hey, question. So you played around with it a little bit in the fun section on, apocalyptic AI versus our commander. But, a year ago, that was really dominating the conversation. It's like, well, crap, are we inventing something here that's going to come back and kill us? I didn't see that you asked that question, but you probably have asked it recently. Where's opinion at along those lines about AI?
Yeah, the public opinion, public is not as concerned about it as they were a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago. And I think they're kind of following the industry's lead, because when you have the kind of industry leaders and the market leaders in this space talking about the threat, that was all the rage. Everyone was leaving OpenAI because they weren't being responsible enough and all that. And then that just all died and disappeared. In my opinion, we work with AI. We have a whole team working with AI every day, building solutions. My opinion is, it's going to take a couple years possibly before America's going to solidify their opinions, and worries about that threat, or at least it's going to rise up to the point where we're listening to it and reading about it all the time.
Yeah. Do you suspect, and what I tracked this is really great. Thank you for doing that. I tracked some of this. I have some clients who are working in this space, so I feel like I spend a lot of time thinking about this as well. I suppose that this may become a big issue for voters in 2028. You said a couple of years, do you think there'll be enough layoffs or displacement of white collar workers over the next 2.5 years that this will be a big issue for the 2028 presidential campaign?
So yes, I do. And I think it's going to kind of come skill set by skill set. We have, I can tell you my pediatrician for my kids. I have 5 kids, and his son graduated from Virginia with a computer science degree. Now, my brother-in-law did the same thing 6 years earlier, and he got a great job. He's doing fantastic. UVA, University of Virginia, with a computer science degree, right? Got good grades, and what my pediatrician told me was that he and his friends cannot get a job. All the people he graduated with. That's a huge deal. You have people who are going to school to get skills, and you expect to be compensated in the market, the job market, with those skills, and it's already happening. Coding was just one of the first areas, but it's going to start to hit other skill sets as well as AI continues to get more integrated to the enterprise. It's going to happen. I mean, yes, I think by the midterms, I think that'll start to become a conversation.
Wow.
David, what's the future of polling on this? Where are you likely to head next? What are some questions on your mind that you haven't asked yet, but you plan to soon?
Well, we definitely need a ballot too. So we kind of put some head-to-heads together on the apocalyptic scenario.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of, honestly, and I said it, I won't get too much into it because I only have 5 minutes here, but the rising energy costs are huge.
Yeah.
These data centers are really, and they do bring a lot of economic activity to these communities. But as you saw in the answers to that poll, people are not willing to share the burden of that in their energy bills, especially with how difficult things and how far, how much costs have gone up everywhere else. That you'll start to see that in almost every poll you see, a state poll you see, internal at least. Internal.
Cozy Earth. So I love getting emails about Cozy Earth, unlike these emails about tech support. So I got an email from one of you today. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, this person's a little bit famous. I won't lie to you. Some of you have heard of this person. Here's what he emailed me. He said, Mark, I'm reminded of the versatility of the Cozy Earth pants as I sit here he's in a prominent place in Washington, I won't say where, in a session on what do you call it, an issue. He says, I'm wearing the pants with a sports coat and a button down, and no one's the wiser. Again, you can wear it with a sports coat and a button down, and people will just say, yeah, nice slacks. But you could wear them literally to the beach or watching the World Series tonight, where I was told they plan to walk Ohtani every at bat, which makes me nuts. Anyway, Cozy Earth products available to you now, the bedding, the pants, everything. It can't be beat. And you hear me talk about the pants all the time because they're so incredible. Go to CozyEarth.com, use the promo code two-way, CozyEarth.com, promo code two-way for 20% off. CozyEarth.com, promo code two-way, because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and two-way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.